So it's day 3 of urban sketching from home, and day 3 is plants. And I think this is what I'm going to sketch. I'm going to simplify all the clutter. We're in another art space that I have in my living room, and I am just going to do the window in the background with this plant, which is awfully backlit for you, but I can see it just fine. And what I've done, since this is my art desk, I'm decided, since it's a standing desk, I'm going to stand here and do my drawing while standing here and recording on this overhead piece. And that's because in the kind of urban sketching from home spirit of this, for me, I want to get used to sketching in places that I'm not used to sketching. So I wanted to make sure that when I captured this, I was doing it in a way that I've never done it before, which is standing on the corner of my desk. I usually sit when I sketch. I think I've only stood and sketched one other time. So yeah, that'll be new for me. Here's day 3, plants. So I'm moving along at about 20 times speed here, and I am frustrated with the drawing process. I keep drawing, redrawing. I'm really having challenges with perspective. You'll see me just struggle and erase and struggle and erase. And I needed to take a break after doing this for a while. So you're just gonna watch me struggle. And here. And what you just witnessed and the deep sigh that followed was the moment when I thought I was turning my recording off and I learned that I was actually turning it on. I missed the entire recording of this sketch. But here's how it turned out. And then, because my lesson is supposed to be learning how to record urban sketching from home, I decided to do it all over again. So we're in 40 times speed for the drawing portion of this. This took me almost 1 full hour just to get the pencil sketch in because of the detail and all of the perspective. This is a very, very challenging drawing for me. So I spend a lot of time, and remember what I said maybe yesterday about only putting the big shapes in and saving all the details for pen. That really went out the window here. Especially now that this is the second time that I've done this, I've noticed a lot more details than I noticed the first time, and I've learned from those lessons. So I've just decided to make this as detailed as my little brain can handle, and I'm really, really happy with the way this sketch is turning out. Like, notice those multiple layers there on in the window panes and the grooves in between the screens and the glass. That's generally a layer of detail that I kind of gloss over. I'm really, really pleased with this sketch, and it was fun to do even the second time, and I got to add things like all those strings this second time. It's a lot of fun. So I'm at 5x speed now for the painting portion of the sketch, and now that it's done, I have to say I really am so pleased with how it turned out. I learned lessons from the first time, so here you see me putting a very light blue wash in there, and then I move it to a light brown wash where outside the window there's a stucco wall. That's a lesson that I learned from the last time, which was don't worry so much about keeping the blinds pristine, because in fact the blinds do need a little bit of shadow. So I was able to paint better this time than I'd worked through some of the paintings. I'm really happy with the way these walls came out. I have a lovely paint color on my wall that is this like neutral, but it's a nice warm rosy neutral. And you can really see the light coming into the windowsill now with the one layer of the color, and then the light in the shaded part of the wall with the color going down. It really is adding a lot of dimension. I was very happy with the way I painted this the second time. So not only did the drawing improve in the level of detail that I got into it, but the painting technique improved as well because I had learned lessons from the first time. So I'm able to get a lot looser and freer when I do this plant here. So I'm sorry that my palette is out of the picture this time. I really do need to write a checklist for recording so that I remember these things. But I can tell you in general that, excuse me, that when I started, I was using green gold, and all of my paints are Daniel Smith watercolors. Sorry about the earthquake there. That lighter green is green gold, and then I add in the kind of neutral bright green of Hooker's green, and then I use Jadeite Genuine for a very dark green in a little while. This is again the gray that I always have on my palette, which is usually heavily based in Moonglow, as well as any other dirt and old paint that I have on my palette. So I'm putting in the grays and in the windowsill here. These are paint cloths, so I use just basically kind of terry cloth washcloths, and I have a huge stack of them, and we use them for cleaning and for anything that needs to be cleaned up, but they're primarily paint towels, and a stack of them sits right there on the window ledge all the time. I like adding these little dark spots and shadow moments in while everything is still pretty wet because they get very soft. Here's where I'm going in and adding some of that Jadeite Genuine to get an even darker color into the plant. I am having so much fun as I'm painting this. It was the next day after the first failed attempt, and my husband is home and he's playing Rock Band next to me, and I'm just rocking out as I'm listening to him and painting this painting. It was so, so fun. Here's where I'm going in and trying to be both loose but also accurate when I put the sky in. That is manganese blue, which is my usual sky color for these bright skies that we get here in Las Vegas. And I'm using a really thin rigger brush. Not something I ordinarily would have with me while I'm urban sketching because I don't ordinarily use something that tiny. So it was nice. I don't think in urban sketching I would ever take on these blinds. I think that would make me a little crazy, and I tend to get a bit overwhelmed by details when I'm out on location, which is part of why I wanted to challenge myself with this painting. Both the details of the blinds and the details of the flower, the plant leaves are a lot for me. So overall, I am super happy with this sketch. I love the plant and the blinds, and it was really challenging and really very, very rewarding. If you want some resources to urban sketchers, I have them on my website, and the link is in the description, as well as links to all the other videos in this Urban Sketching from Home series. Tomorrow we'll be sketching my art room, so I'm super excited about that. And here is my final sketch. Finally, let me know in the comments, which one do you like better? The first one I did on the left or the second one I did on the right? I actually pretty proud of both of them. This was a fun project. You should try it.